Have you ever wondered what would happen if the strongest Marines formed a crew of their own? How strong would this crew be? Well, it's time to find out. But before we jump in, here's the only simple rule. We can only choose Marine characters, and that's it.
First thing first, let's start by picking our crew captain. There are three options: Akainu, Garp, and even Sengoku. But here's the thing. The captain needs to be respected by the rest of the crew. Someone who is willing to die for this crew, and someone strong enough to lead it. And that's exactly why I am choosing Garp. You see, Garp was strong enough to rival the Pirate King Roger himself. Even though he doesn't have a devil fruit, his punches are strong enough to shatter islands. His mastery of Haki is deadly. And let's not forget Sengoku stopped Garp at Marineford for a reason.
Even though he was just a vice admiral, he got respected by someone like 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚎𝚛. What makes him even more like a captain is the fact that he was willing to fight an entire Yonko crew all by himself, just to protect the people he loves. He is strong, respected, and selfless. So yeah, we are definitely choosing Garp for the captain. Next, let's pick a right-hand man for our captain. We need someone our captain fully trusts. Someone who can make the right decisions for the crew, and someone with decades of experience and knowledge. Because let's be real, Garp is just an older version of Luffy. And there is one perfect option for that role: Sengoku. You see, Sengoku was a former fleet admiral of the Marines, the man who once made the most important decisions in the entire organization. He, Garp, and Tsuru all joined the Marines around the same time, and over the years they grew into not just comrades, but true lifelong friends. Sengoku's calm and sharp mind allowed him to make the best calls even in the middle of chaos. That war was the most chaotic event the Marines had ever faced, yet Sengoku stayed composed and kept control until the very end. And don't underestimate his strength. With his mythical Zoan Devil Fruit, Sengoku can transform into a giant golden Buddha, giving him overwhelming power. He's confirmed to possess all three types of Haki, and even the Pirate King Roger said, "If you want to catch me, you'll need Sengoku or Garp." That means his power stood on the level of the Pirate King himself. He's calm, smart, and monstrously strong. And that's exactly why Sengoku is our right-hand man. Now, we need a left-hand man for our crew. We need someone who can rival the right-hand man in terms of strength. Someone who can push him to his limits and balance the power of the crew. So why not pick a fleet admiral to rival a fleet admiral? That's right, we're going with Akainu. This guy is one of the strongest Marines in all of One Piece. With his magma fruit, he's practically unstoppable. His attacks burn hotter than fire and can melt through anything in their path. His sense of absolute justice drives him to fight with no hesitation, and he's even willing to risk his own life if it means protecting his beliefs. During Marineford, he fought through the chaos without backing down, proving his insane endurance and determination. Strong, ruthless, loyal. That's exactly why Akainu is the perfect left-hand man for our crew. Next up, we need a swordsman. And I've got three names in mind: Bogard, Kizaru, and Fujitora. Now for Bogard, we barely know anything about him, so it's hard to judge his true skills. That leaves us with Kizaru and Fujitora. Kizaru isn't technically a swordsman, but we've seen him create a sword of pure light and clash evenly against Rayleigh in a one-on-one, using only that blade. That alone shows his insane swordsmanship. But I've got other plans for Kizaru later. So for this role, I'm going with Fujitora. This guy has some of the sharpest observation Haki in the entire series. Even though he's completely blind, he can see everything around him with Haki. Not just movements and locations, but even emotions. On top of that, his sword isn't just any weapon. It's confirmed to be a supreme grade blade, one of the rarest and most powerful swords in the world. And when you add his devil fruit to the mix, Fujitora becomes even more terrifying. He can literally summon meteors from the sky and crush entire islands into rubble with a single swing of his blade. Yeah, Fujitora is the perfect swordsman for our Marine crew. Now let's pick a navigator for our crew. Since we don't have plenty of options for this role, I'm going straight with 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚎𝚛. You see, 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚎𝚛 spent years as an admiral, sailing across every corner of the seas, including the most dangerous routes. His experience gives him unmatched knowledge of weather patterns, ocean currents, and sea routes that most navigators could only dream of. And with the 𝙲𝚙𝚙𝚎 no Mi, 𝙲𝚘𝚙 can literally freeze entire oceans in seconds. As a navigator, this means he can calm dangerous waters, stop storms from wrecking the ship, or even create safe pathways through the most chaotic seas. Unlike other navigators who just guide the ship, 𝙲𝚘𝚙 can protect the entire crew with his overwhelming power. And don't forget, this guy fought Akainu for 7 days straight, meaning he can keep up with our left-hand man himself in terms of strength. So for this role, I'm going with him. Next, let's move on to the role of sniper. And there's only one man who fits this role perfectly, Kizaru. Now, he's not your typical sniper with a rifle. Instead, he uses his 𝚑𝚑𝚡𝚑𝚑 no Mai to fire laser beams straight from his hands. This devil fruit lets him move and attack at the speed of light, making him almost impossible to react to. As a Logia, Kizaru can transform into pure light, meaning normal attacks pass right through him. He can generate beams, light blades, and even massive explosions, all with pinpoint accuracy. That's why Kizaru is the deadliest sniper our crew could ever have. Now it's time to pick our cook, and honestly, we don't have a lot of options here. The only real pick for this role is Jessica. You might be wondering, who even is Jessica? Well, allow me to explain. Jessica is a chef we saw back in the G8 arc, and not just any chef, she was the head chef of the entire G8 Marine base. She even yelled at Sanji when he tried to flex his cooking skills, so you already know she takes her kitchen more seriously than most people take their lives. And let's be real, you don't become the head chef of a Marine base for no reason. She's disciplined, respected, and knows how to keep everyone fed no matter the situation. So for the role of cook, I'm locking in Jessica. Now let's pick our crew's shipwright. And believe me, there's one perfect candidate, 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚎𝚛. At first, I was going to make him our assassin, because let's be real, he was born for that role. As a kid, Lucci was already insanely strong, recognized as a prodigy by the world government. Trained in Rokushiki, a martial art that demands superhuman physical ability, he mastered every technique and became an unstoppable fighter. By the time he was just 13, he single-handedly took down 500 hostages without breaking a sweat. With his awakened Zoan Devil Fruit and complete mastery of Rokushiki, he's an absolute force of nature. But there is a reason why I picked him as our shipwright instead. In One Piece canon, Lucci actually became one of Iceberg's most trusted employees in the Galley Law Company, the best shipbuilding firm in the entire world. For 5 years, he worked undercover there, mastering the craft of building and repairing ships while maintaining his terrifying combat skills. If you want the strongest, most dangerous shipwright the Marines could ever have, you pick 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚎𝚛. Now it's time to pick our rookie, and honestly, there's only one name that comes to mind. Koby. When we first met Koby, he was just a timid cabin boy for the Alvida pirates. But after meeting Luffy, he found the courage to chase his dream and join the Marines. Under the brutal training of none other than Monkey D. Garp, Koby's growth has been nothing short of insane. By the time Luffy saw him again in Water 7, Koby's entire appearance and aura had changed. And after the 2-year time skip, he came back stronger than ever, surpassing pre-time skip Luffy's strength and earning respect as a capable fighter. While he's not quite on par with the very top yet, his willpower, determination, and insane growth rate make him a future powerhouse. And that's exactly why he's the rookie of our crew. Now it's time to choose our assassin. And for this role, I'm going straight with none other than Who's Who. Over 10 years ago, he was part of CP9, but after failing to protect the Gomu Gomu no Mi, he lost everything. His title, his freedom, and ended up in prison. Later, he rose back up as a member of the Tobiropo, giving him serious authority within the Beast Pirates, with only Kaido and the All-Stars above him. As a former CP9 agent, he mastered all the Rokushiki techniques, and after gaining the Saber Tiger Zone Fruit, he became faster, stronger, and tougher than ever before. He even clashed evenly with Jinbe, who's currently the 4th strongest Straw Hat. His power and potential were once said to rival 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚎𝚑 himself. So yeah, when it comes to the role of assassin, Who's Who is the perfect fit. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's keep going. As for the role of doctor, we don't really have someone with that official title, but we can choose someone who can cure deadly diseases that most doctors in the One Piece universe couldn't even touch. Someone with unmatched intelligence, knowledge, and insane inventions. That's right, we are going with Vegapunk. You see, Vegapunk was the chief scientist of the Marines for decades. He's the brain behind most of the government's technology. With his unmatched level of intelligence, he can always find a way to cure any disease, just like he did with Bonnie. Vegapunk was able to cure Bonnie's deadly disease. So, for the role of doctor, I am going with Vegapunk. Now it's time to pick our crew's scientist. At first, Vegapunk would have been the perfect fit, but since we already used him as a doctor earlier, there's only one true option left, Caesar Clown. And honestly, This guy is the best mad scientist we could possibly get. This is the same man who created SAD, the chemical that allowed Doflamingo and Kaido to mass-produce smile fruits, giving Kaido his terrifying army of Zoan users. He also invented Shinokuni, a deadly gas weapon that could instantly suffocate and petrify anyone it touched, leaving them as stone-like husks. And let's not forget, Caesar even managed to upgrade Chopper's Rumble Ball, making it last longer. But with his Gasu Gasu no Mi, he's almost untouchable. He can literally transform into gas, making it nearly impossible to land a hit on him. And with his abilities, he can suffocate enemies by removing oxygen, create explosive gas attacks and deadly gas blades, levitate and float by turning into pure gas. Just like Vegapunk, Caesar isn't technically a Marine. But here's the thing. Caesar Clown did work for the world government as part of their science division under Dr. Vegapunk. So, since we don't really have any other options left for this role, we're making an exception and choosing him. Now let's move on to the role of strategist. And thankfully, there is actually someone with that official title, Tsuru. We've learned that Tsuru is known as the Great Advisor, which means she was the one making the best strategies for Sengoku himself. Tsuru is one of the oldest and most experienced Marines still active, serving since the era of 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚒𝚝, which gives her unmatched tactical knowledge. Unlike hot-headed Marines like Akainu, Tsuru is calm, logical, and always thinking several steps ahead. And let's not forget, she's not just brains. She's strong enough to protect herself even in the middle of chaos using her wash-wash fruit, literally cleansing enemies and neutralizing them with ease. So, yeah, for the role of strategist, I'm going with Tsuru. For the role of cabin boy, I'm going with 𝚲𝚘𝚎𝚘𝚡. Why? Because the whole purpose of this role is cleaning, and that's exactly what 𝚲𝚲𝚎𝚘 did when he first joined the Marines. He doesn't need to be the strongest. His main job here is sweeping the floor while everyone else is fighting in battle. But don't underestimate him. Sure, the first time we saw 𝚲𝚲𝚎𝚘, he was weak, spoiled, and stupid. But after training under the hero of the Marines himself, he became way stronger. After the time skip, he even rose to the rank of Marine Captain, became a skilled swordsman, and mastered Rokushiki techniques. At first, I thought about adding 2 rookies like the Roger Pirates had, but at the end of the day, someone needs to handle the chores, and 𝚲𝚲𝚎𝚘 is perfect for that. Next, we need our crew's torturer, and I'm going with the monster who single-handedly defeated not 1, but 2 Yonkos in the Impel Down incident. The man every brutal pirate feared in that prison, and the one who wields one of the deadliest devil fruit. That's right, I am going with Magellan. He doesn't need gimmicks to break people. Just sitting next to you is already torture. He's known as one of the toughest, the most brutal villains Luffy has ever faced. With his devil fruit, he can create poison so deadly it can kill you in minutes. He can even form massive, multi-headed poison constructs to tear through enemies. So yeah, for the role of torturer, I'm going straight with Magellan. Now let's pick our crew's wild card, and for this role, I'm going straight with Monkey D. Dragon. And before you say anything, yes, I know he's a revolutionary, but hear me out. Before becoming the world's most wanted man, Dragon was actually a Marine, so he definitely fits right into this Marine crew. This guy is the world's worst criminal, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and one of the biggest powerhouses in the entire One Piece world. Just like his son Luffy and his father Garp, Dragon is monstrously strong. He's the same man who trained the Flame Emperor Sabo and commands the most dangerous anti-world government organization ever created. The government themselves see him as a bigger threat than even the Yonko. As a member of the Monkey D clan, and with a goal that seems almost impossible, I'm convinced he also possesses Conqueror's Haki. And let's not forget, we still don't know the full extent of his powers. How strong is he? What kind of abilities does he have? How does he summon those terrifying storms? That mystery alone makes him the perfect wild card for the strongest Marine crew ever assembled.